welcome everybody to episode 157 of the China Show. We're so excited to have you here today because we've got quite an exciting show coming. Should we saunter right into it?
We got to tease what we're talking about first before we get into anything, because if you're live here or if you're not live, just know that we will be covering the absolute free ice cream racist chaotic apocalypse. And I know that sounds absolutely dramatic and far-fetched, but it's absolutely true.
But don't worry, there's a lot more in the show, so we're just going to get right into it because it's jam-packed. So let's saunter right into it with What's New, where we talk about what's new in China, what's been going on. And we're going to start out with circuses.
Yeah. Can I say that Chinese circuses are the craziest thing in the entire world? And if you like animals, you will hate a Chinese circus.
Yes.
Because of animal rights abuse.
You know what I found really interesting is when we came to America, I took my kid to the circus, and it turns out there were no animals.
Interesting.
For a number of years, I don't know how many, but they've actually banned the use of animals in circuses here because of animal cruelty.
Huh. Why did you get so quiet?
I didn't. It's just it takes away from, you know.
No, your voice just got super quiet, I'm saying. You just got like, when I went to the circus.
Well, it's because I'm disappointed.
There we go. I need some enthusiasm.
Yeah. You need to, like, I'm all for, like, animal rights. I'm a big proponent, but at the same time, it really takes away from the circus if there are no animals.
Sure.
So all you get to see is humans doing, like, fancy things a lot.
I got you. A lot.
It gets boring after a while. There's only so many death-defying feats a human could do and twist around and stuff, and you're like, okay, bro.
I think I went to the circus.
What are you going to juggle next?
Yeah. I think I went to the circus twice as a child, and then only in China, and then never again since then. But when I was a kid, I absolutely hated circuses because, I told this before, I was a quarter of the way through my cotton candy. Very excited to have it. A clown goes by, he's playing all these tricks, he takes it away, takes a bite out of it, and just walks away with it. And I was a 5-year-old. That's
terrible.
I was like trying not to cry because I thought the gag would be he comes back.
Yeah, but he didn't.
No, the gag was he gags it down and just F's off.
Yeah.
My grandpa was like cackling, laughing. I'm like, what? As a child, I'm like, what has this world done to me? Fast forward to China, circuses. I went to a circus once. It was one of those pop-up ones. Circuses always pop up.
Yeah,
right?
they just appear.
And it was next to a park. And I want you guys to understand that I walked in, and there was an emaciated tiger walking on a tightrope, like wobbling around, right? With a monkey on its back, and the monkey is just spazzing out, like very upset.
Of course.
Because there's a bird on his back.
Okay.
And the bird's pecking at the monkey, and the monkey's walking on the tiger, and everyone's like, yeah, and the tiger's like, rah! The tiger goes back in the cage, they inject it with something. They had some syringe, obviously, to keep it calm or something.
Yeah,
to get it back
sedatives
in
or
the
something,
cage.
yeah.
And they had me, this was the only foreigner there, obviously, come down, and they put me in, they put this girl or something in this barrel, in this like clay barrel, and this girl's like juggling it with her feet, like to keep it up, so how strong she is, acrobatic stuff.
So you're in the barrel?
No, I had to like hold down the barrel, and like I could prove that she like could, I can't remember, I was like holding it down with all my force or whatever, and to prove that I couldn't, they were holding it down so I couldn't pick it up, but she could pick it up, right? So like the contestant, the strong foreigner man dude, couldn't pick it up because they're holding it down,
right.
And then she's like, I get the gag, right? Yeah. But anyway, at the end, people they I guess they sedated the tiger because people could come out and line up, pay a little money to sit on the tiger to take photos. People lined up to sit on this tiger.
It's not very nice for the tiger.
Not very nice for the tiger. And number two, very awful because it's this like diseased-looking sad animal. But in this case, the lion in this case got a little freedom.
Got a little revenge.
Yeah, a little revenge.
This is a lion in a Chinese circus. Let's see what happens here. It's doing lion stuff. Yeah, jump through a hoop, lion. You know? It's like, no, I'm going to go out of the cage. Me too.
Me too, man. Right here.
Yeah. Poor lion kind.
Chaos ensued.
Don't worry,
no one got hurt.
No one got eaten.
No one got touched.
But yeah, like.
But I love that shot. That's my favorite shot right there.
Yeah, it's just chilling out. Everybody's run away. You know what I mean?
My favorite thing is how poor the security was there.
Yeah.
And it's so China. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how China is.
He's king of the concrete jungle now.
But yeah, that reminds me of like a children's book or something, and all the animals get free out of the zoo. That's the shot I would imagine.
Yeah,
That's exactly how it would look.
Exactly, yeah.
For those of you not watching, for those of you audio listeners out there, there's a few
Yep,
thousand
yep.
of you at least, right? There's a lion that just escaped a zoo.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, okay, that's circuses out of the way. What is this?
You know Teemo, right? Which
yeah,
is the...
of course, I made a video about how they scam everyone.
Yeah, for sure. This is rhetorical.
Yeah.
It's the, I guess, #1 most downloaded app in America because Americans are a bunch of cheapskates that want cheap garbage from slave labor in China.
Yep.
And they don't care about their own morals, apparently.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm an American. I'm hopefully can inspire you to stop buying from
Yeah,
this.
it's not like we're trying to harshly judge
No.
people that'll sell their country away for a $2 item.
No, it's not. We're not doing that at all.
No, of course
We
not.
would never do that. Anyway, this popped up. I thought this was absolutely spot on with how much market research they do.
Yeah.
It says, what does it say?
It says empowering women's savings. It's got a plushie of, I believe it's a Wasserbier, you know, a tardigrade.
It's a tardigrade, yeah.
Yeah, which is also called a
Water
water
bear, yeah.
bear. Some drill bits and a and a globe. Those are some bizarre looking drill bits because they've got like thread on them. Anyway, I'm pretty sure women aren't buying, you know, in general.
Well, you know what?
Drill bits.
It's 2023. A woman can do whatever she wants. So
Buy
don't you dare say that.
tardigrade, you know, plushies with drill bits and little globes.
I'll tell you what.
It's empowering women's savings.
I will have you know, a strong woman would buy all 3 of these items simultaneously. And the thing I love about this is that China doesn't give an absolute toss about women's rights, right?
No, also,
Chinese people do, but the
what
Chinese
does this have to do with
doesn't.
women's savings anyway?
That's my point, is that they're like, how do we capitalize in this thing? We know that the Westerners love this like empowering women thing. How do we do this? Well, we'll put the label there.
Yeah, the label. It doesn't matter. You can be a man and buy this.
Yeah, for sure. But we know that those Westerners love this stuff,
Yes,
right?
it'll give us points. Anyway, that's ridiculous.
I just thought that was a great combo of items, great trio of items.
Yeah, what's going on here?
So I want everyone to know what an authoritarian system like a one-party state really looks like in China. It's not this on rails, we got everything figured out, we got a social... You know what I heard the other day?
What?
Do you know who is this big streamer? What's his name? He's the Twitch guy. Hassan.
Okay.
He's the biggest. He used to be on what's it called? Young Turks. Remember that? Remember Young Turks? It's like that new independent news network. Or something. Anyway, he's like the biggest Twitch streamer or whatever, right?
Okay.
Someone sends me this clip the other day. I think it was yesterday actually, and he's going on about how China is like China's billionaire. He's talking about Chinese billionaires, but he's being like facetious about it. Saying like, oh, America's billionaires are worse or something because at least China has billionaires and they put the money into a social safety net for welfare?
What?
And I was like, what are you talking about?
The ignorance surrounding how China works, just astounding.
So my point is, the reason I brought this up is that people have this bizarre fantasy that China is a socialist country, and it's freaking not. It's the most cutthroat, rogue capitalist place in the world.
Yeah.
Where the state intervenes, not to make your life better, but to take the stuff back when you get too powerful.
Yeah, especially billionaires that disappear.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, long story short, remember the whole COVID thing?
Yes.
Remember that when that was a thing?
Yeah, of course.
So COVID was a thing, and in China, it was the worst, most brutal lockdowns, and there was this bizarre propaganda they're putting out about how they're saving everyone's lives, right? So you can imagine the whole country was just covered in like COVID stuff. It's like wear a mask, get vaccinated, do all this kind of stuff. But now they want everyone to forget about it.
Yes.
They don't want people to talk about COVID anymore. They wanted only to talk about COVID when it was there.
Yes, but now it's like, don't talk about it.
Yeah, don't talk about it. So now they're just plastering up this stuff. It's like, don't eat bat soup. I'm not even joking. They had propaganda back then.
Yeah.
Just last year that said, don't eat bat soup. Don't eat pangolins. So just go scroll through some of these. Just play them out, actually. We'll talk about them. So on the walls in major cities here, you have them covering up masks and the propaganda.
Yeah, they're covering up the Zorha Swan, you know?
Yeah.
Let's take a nucleic acid test together. Yeah, they're just covering it up, yeah.
So you have literally like this knee-jerk response now is they don't want people even talking about, hey, remember when we had to wear masks? Hey, remember when we had to shut the window because we don't want COVID particles coming? Remember they used to fly drones to the streets of China saying, you are in trouble if you don't shut your window. Don't sing.
Yeah.
Remember that? people were like banging pots and pans, like don't bang pots and pans. It's spraying like
spraying like
antiseptic
bleach
everywhere.
or whatever everywhere. Yeah, here like the woman putting on a mask. Let's cover that up.
They don't want people to do this anymore because it reminds them of the 2.5+ years of absolute prison that the Chinese government put them through.
Pangolins and
They're
bats,
like,
don't eat bang. Yeah,
I'm not even joking. This is in
that's
China.
what it says. Yeah, don't eat me with this pangolin and bat.
Swabbing the fish's mouths. Remember that?
Yeah. Just swabbing truck tires and brick walls and rocks and like spraying bleach on runways.
Leave it to China, though. It's actually getting hard to find the evidence of how ridiculous the lockdowns were for those 2 years.
They're very good at cleaning up and sweeping things under a rug. I'll tell you that
SEO,
much.
I swear to God, they pay for it.
Yeah.
Because like half the stuff's gone.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway,
this is the social safety net I just want to show. That my point is, to sum this up, China doesn't have a plan. They knee-jerk react to everything. There is no long-term plan in China. We lived there for 10+ years.
Yes.
It is not a socialist country.
No, and like you say, they don't have a plan. They just go along with whatever's happening, and then hope for the best, If
you are a true socialist, deep red in your blood, I don't know what the hell you're doing looking at China as an example. Yeah. It's the opposite.
Also, just go away.
I'm saying, though, you can believe whatever you want to believe. Mm-hmm. Don't pick China as your example.
Yeah,
pick somewhere else.
Anyway, this is a little bit darker over here. Let's just play this a little bit, and then we can talk about it, okay?
那我问你啊，我是什么人呀？
Okay, so for those of you who don't speak Chinese and who are listening, you've got a teacher. There's a class full of little children. He stands up, it's like, now I'm going to ask you, what kind of person am I?
我是中国人。
Yeah, he says, I am a Chinese. I'm a Chinese person.
声音大点，我是什么人？
He's like, speak up. What kind of person are you?
我是中国人。
那
I'm a Chinese person.
我的祖国是哪里呀？
Well, what is my motherland? Question
What is
mark.
your mother? Yeah, my mother.
Yeah, he's like saying to the kid, like, you got to say, what is my motherland? It's like,
中国是中华人民共和国。
my motherland is the People's Republic of China. You might be wondering what's wrong with this picture. Well, that's a Uyghur child.
Yeah.
And this is the indoctrination. It's kind of not very nice, the fact that they do this kind of thing. And also you have to bear in mind that a lot of these children have been separated from their parents by the state and are being brainwashed into, I am a Chinese person. My motherland is the People's Republic of China. Yeah. That kind of shit. It's not cool if you are from a completely different background, not only ethnically, but also religiously and culturally, to be forced to say these kind of things to integrate, Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's like saying to African Americans in America, you may not refer to yourself as African Americans. No, you are Americans. What is your motherland? Red, white, and blue. You must say that over and over. Yeah. You may not mention anything else. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Not to mention that a lot of Uyghurs don't consider themselves even part of China.
Of course. Yeah. They don't.
It's even worse.
Yeah. They don't. Yeah, anyway, it's kind of crappy.
Anyway, shout out to Vermilion China, by the way. Mm-hmm. Fantastic Instagram account. Yeah. Awesome account. Covers some really good infographic data about China and what's going on. Yeah. Good stuff. Follow it. But just finish out the clip. There's more.
Right.
首都在哪里呀？
It's like, what's the capital of our country?
说得非常好啊。那我国的国旗是什么呀？
Yeah, what's the national flag of our country?
新后街。
好，大家说他说的好不好？好，大家掌声。大家都不热情。
It's like that's buruching means it's you're not lively enough. Yeah, he's saying to the kids. So kind of crappy. Anyway, China punishes citizens for sharing information on Xinjiang.
Yeah, I just wanted to update everyone. They're really cracking down because there's so many I shouldn't say foreign, reports outside of China. I'm too used to living in China. I call everything not Chinese foreign.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, there's too many international reports about what's happening in Xinjiang, which is literally the cultural genocide of the Uyghur people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to forget about this because, you kind of get outraged about it. You're like, what's going on with this stuff? You get reminded that there's this horrible thing going on in China, in Western China. And then because nothing gets done about it and it just continues, you kind of lose track. You just, it falls out of the news cycle. You start to forget about it because when you say everything you can about it and you voice your outrage and you want to change something and nothing changes. In fact, they just double down. It's very disheartening.
Yeah. So anyway, they've been cracking down saying, China's saying the NGOs and all these like enemy think tanks and stuff are coming after China for how it's treating the Uyghur people. But the truth is China has over 1 million Uyghurs in camps, reformation camps to de-brainwash them and make them speak Chinese and talk about the great tenements of Xi Jinping thought. Really horrid.
Yeah.
Horrid
I mean, just
stuff.
look at the wording. It's like the article says that NGOs and foreign forces used information to forge lies. That kind of nonsense. Anyway, you get the idea.
Yes.
What do we got going on over here?
There was a fire.
Okay, guys, this is crazy, all right? There was a crisis in Beijing, the capital of Beijing. There was like a disaster. Can you imagine a hospital catching fire, with, the initial reports were 21 people died immediately, like in the fire. But actually later on, I saw reports where they were saying more, 26 plus, and a whole whack of people injured. Huge fire in a hospital in Beijing, in the capital. But the Chinese government delayed the information about this for the longest time. They tried their best to hide it again. It's like, why? Why can they not just say, hey, we've got a fire, send in the fire department, let's deal with this? It's so annoying that they tried to hide it from not only the local population, but internationally as well. It's not anyone's fault. It's an accident, it's a fire. It's, it's a tragedy. And tragedies like this, it doesn't make you weaker. Why are you hiding it? What's your end game here? You just want to say China's perfect and has no problems?
Yeah. That's what the Chinese government does.
Yeah.
Absolute control. They literally shut down any discussion about it.
Yeah, you couldn't discuss. I mean, imagine in Washington, D.C., the capital of America, there's a big hospital there that catches fire and 20 plus patients die in the fire and a bunch of sick people are seen falling out of the windows because that's what happened. Saw people jumping out of the windows, injuring themselves, climbing naked down ladders out of the window. We've seen all the footage. Imagine that happened in Washington, D.C., but the CNN and everything was like, not allowed to report on it.
There's no fire.
Yeah, you're not allowed to discuss it on Facebook. You get banned if you do.
Yeah.
That's what happened in
It's
Beijing.
horrible, dude. That's
last week.
China.
Yeah. This last week. I mean, eventually they had to, report. Here we got some footage of people.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
I did not show anything graphic, by the way.
So YouTube,
chill out.
We've got people sitting on air conditioning units outside. To escape the blaze, of course. One thing that really, did you put in the clip where the thing got stuck?
Yeah, and that's what I'm leading up to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I mean, yeah. The firefighters, as you can see here, couldn't get to the scene because the height clearance beam leading into where the hospital is was too low and the ladder got stuck on it.
Blocked, yeah.
It just shows you, look, the planning in China is a mess.
Absolute mess.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen it where fire hydrants aren't even hooked up to the pipes.
Yeah.
I
mean, look, I understand. Fire departments, and look at the uniforms, the fire trucks, everything, it's all foreign, okay? It all comes from it's a foreign idea.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to belittle China here. I'm just saying that all of the procedures that the firemen have to follow are procedures that have been developed over hundreds of years, since the big fires of London and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mostly in America. They take the American techniques.
Absolutely.
Of firefighters,
all of that stuff came from just hundreds of years of evolution, right? So they're taking an idea that's not homegrown.
No.
And they just kind of run with it, and they're just kind of haphazard about it, because if you are going to have a fire department that goes and puts out fires, then there are regulations. There's supposed to be regulations around the city to make sure that there are fire lanes, especially in places like hospitals and schools and public buildings. You also have regulations that make sure that there's nothing's going to stop them from being able to enter into a hospital, for instance, like this. So the height's set.
The fire hazards in China are insane.
Yeah.
What
I'm saying is that when it comes to the standards, and like I said, the heights and the fire lanes and stuff, it's all chabodo, which means it's all just haphazard and whatever, good enough. And it leads to tragedy like this.
Yes. Over and over and over. Dude, this is at least a fire truck showing up. How many fires did you see where nothing shows up?
Yeah. And they try like a garden hose from like 100 meters away, and it doesn't even go 10 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seen that stuff. I've seen live fire drills in my own apartment block, in China. I've filmed some, actually. I can show it sometime. And it's a joke. After going through the fire drills, because, by the way, they only started doing fire drills after 2 apartments in my block, which I've also got footage of, burnt and people died.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, we better take fire safety seriously. Let's start doing drills. I'd been living there for years and they hadn't done any.
And that's in a city that takes stuff way more seriously than the rest of China.
Tier city, Shenzhen. And then I watched this fire drill where they got everyone to like come down, and it was a joke. I felt less safe after the fire drill to see like the guys fumbling around trying to figure out how a hose works and stuff.
Yes.
I was like, what is this?
Yes.
So, you know, it's just unfortunate. And it's a tragedy. And again, the biggest takeaway from this, is that the Chinese government tried to suppress this information. And they did for quite a long time.
It's so gross. It's anybody championing this government is gross. You're
Absolutely.
gross.
Yeah.
They hide fires where people die.
Yep.
Because it makes them look bad.
Yep.
They do it with earthquakes. Dare I remind you?
They do it with COVID.
What they do with COVID, of course. That's our biggest example.
Yeah.
But dare I remind you of the Wenzhou train collapse, when the train actually collapsed and the train
the
came
high-speed
off
rail,
the high-speed rail just got destroyed, right, in Wenzhou. When the cars came off, they were still full of people. And the person responsible, I believe, was it the mayor or someone responsible of the area, some CCP member, said bury the train cars
So there's
under
no
dirt
evidence,
so that no one can see that there's people. And there were still people in there, including a 2-year-old girl that was still alive.
Yeah.
They chose to bury those cars. And then later, I guess he got reprimanded or something, but then he just got another job
They tried to
else.
bury it before reporters could come on the
Yeah.
scene and see the severity of the accident, because remember, the high-speed rail was still kind of new,
Yeah.
and they couldn't afford to have bad press around
Right.
it. It's a big thing. You can look it up. Anyway, there we see the firefighters not being able to get in because of the height thing.
And again, this is in the best city in China, right? The capital.
This is China's capital city, Beijing. This isn't some backwater.
No.
You know?
还冒烟呢，吓死了。
Anyway, so that's the fire in Beijing.
Yeah.
And now we're going to move on to something a little funnier, because it's something that we can absolutely relate to. Do you want to set this up?
Please. This is a guy in Changsha in Hunan.
Yeah,
So another very developed big city.
Yeah.
Probably 10 plus million people. And he's driving, and this isn't set up. He just goes, I'm going to show you what it's like to drive in China in a very main thoroughfare in the center of the city, right?
Yeah.
And when I saw this, it brought back so many amazing memories of what it's like to drive in China, because this is even a very gentle, nice version of what it's like to drive in China.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think it'll really hit home with people because it's just a normal setting. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look. We'll get ourselves out of here and just play it for you quickly. Here we go.
Give you a little taste of driving here in China. I assume I'll get cut off in about 30 seconds. Here comes one guy, no blinker, right in front of me. That was somewhat of a lane merge, but again, watch him, no blinkers. I just put mine on. What lane is he in? Is he straddling the lanes? Look at this. I'm just gonna get up and ride him out of there. Yep, he's gonna give up and go over to that lane. And it's just a dog-eat-dog world from the start out here. Nobody's following any rules. Nobody's putting blinkers on. And you're gonna see. Watch this truck try to squeeze in, come into my lane. We'll see what's gonna happen as I start to go here. I'm like 50 seconds in. I already got cut off once. Look at this guy squeezing in on the left. Watch this, watch this. That guy just threw trash out. Okay, nobody cares about that. I'm gonna start making my moves aggressively here. And whoa, buddy. Whoa! It's every second you gotta be on point or you're gonna get run the fuck over. It is sketchball. Look at this. Yeah, come on over, buddy. No problem. Think you cut me off early already once. Don't need a blinker. That's 1 minute and 20 seconds with half of it sitting at the light. Look at this guy on the right over in me. Right here. Just passing lanes, honking. This is like 30 seconds was waiting at a light. Watch out for the bus. I don't know if you guys can see this or tell what's going on, but it's just ballsy. Chinese drivers aren't bad. They're just used to freaking gnarliness.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, you know.
I mean, you have to drive bad in China or you're effed.
Yeah.
I always say this, but my dad was visiting in China, and we were just stuck, and everyone was pulling in front of each other, like just lane after lane. It was like that, but 10 times worse, more violent, like within centimeters of each other, almost hitting each trading paint. And he's like, how does anyone deal with this?
Yeah,
And I was like, wow, welcome to China.
It's insane. And I forgot, like we were talking earlier, I'd forgotten that I'd actually started driving before we even met. I had my car before that. Because I always, in my mind, I only had a car for the last couple of years. But I actually got my car in 2010.
Yeah.
And so I'd been driving. I drove for over a decade in China. It's just like crazy, and it's insane. What you saw there is just everyday driving.
Yeah.
And for people that don't see it with their own eyes or don't experience it themselves, it's wild.
It's crazy. But that was like very calm.
Yes,
but I
very
like
calm.
that because it was such a normal off the cuff thing.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like to go 60 kilometers, sometimes it'd take me 5 hours. And if I didn't jockey for position, I would have had to just die in my car. I would have just starved to death.
I remember when it was like there was a holiday. Very seldom you get holidays in China. It doesn't work like the rest of the world. Like people can't just take off work. You can only take off when there's a national holiday. So it becomes absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Remember Dameshao was only like 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers from downtown Shenzhen, right?
Yeah.
Normally it would take you maybe 20 minutes to drive out there, half an hour at the most.
Yeah.
Okay. A client of mine, because it was like the holidays coming, and it was like there was like a long weekend or something. They're like, we're gonna drive to the beach. Like I said, 20 minutes, half an hour drive away.
Yeah.
I said, don't do it. They did it. It took them 7 hours. I'm not even kidding. It took them 7 hours. They were stuck in the car for 7 hours.
To get somewhere where they wanted to come back from that day.
You could have walked there in less time.
Yeah.
You could
That's
have
actually true.
You can.
Yeah.
Like I know a crazy dude who did just walk there. He used to walk there. Take him like, a couple hours. But yeah, anyway, just to let you know, driving in China is next level.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
Can I remind everyone to please thumbs up the video?
Yeah.
That'll help us out big time. It's free. It's anonymous. It doesn't do anything other than help the response to the video, get more people in on here. So if you can click the thumbs up button, we'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Go down there, thumbs up crew, and give us a little click. We'd love that. What do we got with the struggle session in the background here?
This is Xi Zhongxun, which is Xi Jinping's dad.
Yep.
Now, that might look shocking. Why would all these communists in China be struggle sessioning Xi Jinping's own father, a very high-level CCP official? Why? Well,
don't like him?
Well, it's because he was a little too revolutionary in his thought,
Yeah.
right? Now, there was a lot of purges around Mao Zedong's time. And the problem with that was even the good, like when I say good communist, I mean somebody that had the ideology of wanting to be equal and help people. There were people in the Communist Party that believed in those things, right?
Sure.
It was an ideology. And Mao Zedong, unfortunately, was just an insane, petulant dictator that wiped out everyone that got even close to his power, or even remotely even
Like
made him
slightly
paranoid.
threatened his power, yeah.
Not even people that challenged him, people
Yeah,
he
but questioned him,
perceived.
you
Yeah,
know?
or questioned him.
He's like, do you like pork? And the guy's like, not always. It's like, you're out of here.
You're done,
Yeah.
right? And it created this horrible, poisonous environment where millions of people were purged around China, whether they were teachers or they're officials or whatever, right? And so, Xi Jinping's dad got caught up in this.
Sure.
Anyway,
What's the reason for showing it?
the reason for showing it is a very, very famous quote that's been unearthed and been going around China and getting censored,
Okay.
which is very, very, very amazing. I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
And what I want to, I just want to, hold on. I want to introduce one more thing that he did.
Okay.
People always talk about the special economic zones.
Yes.
He's the one that came up with them.
Oh, he came up with the idea?
He's the one that gave Deng Xiaoping the idea.
Oh, interesting.
So
I didn't know.
he handed it over, and he said, we'll create the 4 special economic zones, and his report was the one that was received and put into action.
Okay.
For Shenzhen. He's the reason for Shenzhen.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Now, go forward, because he was released from prison in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And then got back into political power. Can you read his quote?
He says, Mao's mistakes have been corrected. The new constitution, modified in 1982, will prevent a dictator. I doubt my bastard will
Any
be...
bastard.
Oh, sorry. I said my bastard because I see Xi Jinping's next to him. Sorry. I doubt any bastard will be a dictator in the future. Yeah, sorry. I'll get out of there so you can see. There he is with Xi Jinping. Yeah, interesting.
Isn't that an incredible quote? And it's true. he was a reformist.
Yeah.
He was always seen as somebody that wanted to make sure that the party was always serving the people.
Yeah.
And no one could ever achieve, like there were limitations put on people to make sure there was no dictator status.
This Xi Jinping obviously has big daddy issues, and he wants to like spite his dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's like, "Oh, really, old man?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be the worst
I'll
one yet.
I'll be the worst bastard dictator."
I mean, he hasn't
Yeah.
achieved Mao's level yet, but I think he'll get there.
He's getting there,
He'll
dude.
get
He's
there
getting
for
there.
sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you say that's being censored, but
Yeah, well, it's going around in different ways. There's different ways of rephrasing it and using letters instead of characters and things, or talking about the quote,
Yeah.
about, oh, look at the quote. Right?
Yes.
And so that's kind of being hushed right now.
Yeah.
This was just a really good English representation of it.
I like it. I
thought it was a
I
good one.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. What do we got next?
Got all kinds of stuff. We like to cover what's going on in China, right?
Right. Well, it's time for us to hit our main segment.
It's not.
Why?
Because we need an ad, but the ad is for us.
Okay.
The ad is for us today.
All right. So what
By
are
the
we
way,
doing?
there's more stuff in there. That's absolutely not true. That's not all that's left inside of that pack.
Are you
No,
sure?
there's-
Oh, there is more. Okay, let's get back to it then. But do you want to do the
Oh,
ad?
no, that's soft power hour. That's
Okay.
soft power hour.
All
Yeah,
right,
put
so-
the ad in there, dude.
What ad?
The ad for our special thing. Don't leave us, guys.
What are you talking about?
Don't leave us, guys. Don't leave us, guys.
You know,
Our ad.
what ad?
What do you think?
Oh, you mean you just want to put the Patreon link up there?
I mean, yes, but where is it?
Yeah, you tell me, bro.
I cut it and everything.
Oh, well, you just have to export it and we'll show it later. Guys, here's our ad. Okay, hear us out. Head on over to patreon.com/ADV podcasts if you want to support us. We have a variety of goodies for you, and we've got a couple of interesting things coming your way. In fact, next week we're going to be announcing something pretty sweet.
In fact, if you went to the Patreon, you'd already kind of get an idea of the crazy thing that we're going to do.
Yes.
But you won't know unless you went over there.
Yeah. So you didn't put it in the thing?
No, I'm checking. I'm making
All
sure.
right.
Because I put it in the...
Well, I tell you what.
that doesn't make any... No, I did. Can you skip to... Let's do it now.
Oh, okay.
Skip towards...
Guys, I guess you're just going to have to see our ad. I'm very, very
Don't apologize.
apologetic
It's
for
very
the fact
important.
that you have to see our ad. But it's a good one. You'll enjoy it.
It's at about 1750. 1753.
Oh, yeah? Can I get a discount?
You're in it. Stop belittling us. You're going to like it.
便宜点吧.
No, you're not bargaining.
Okay, all right. So we have a secret show every Monday, okay? It's called Shaban Ho. It's a completely different show. We'll just show you what you missed out on this last Monday. It's interesting.
So, here we are. Oh my.
The guy looks like a trash bag, you know?
I love my job. I love the kids.
Young girls, transvestites, transsexuals. Take those panties down.
Oh, that's weak. Kiss like you mean it.
Oh my.
Oof.
This is a gross episode. Gross people.
Gross, yeah. Yeah, so for those of you who are curious as to what that's all about, our sort of secret show on Mondays, we talk about topics that we usually don't cover in the main show.
Not the dregs, not the tofu dregs.
No.
left
It's
over,
just
like
stuff
we
that does,
can't.
yeah, stuff that we can't really talk, publicly about in the main show. So it's always a lot of fun. Please, if you have the means, head on over to patreon.com/ADV podcasts and join the Shaban Ho tier so that you can join the show. You'll get access to all the previous episodes as well. And there's other goodies there. You know, you can gain access to our Discord server and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun.
The reason you'd join the highest tier for that is because you'd want to be part of the live show on Monday. It's a live show every Monday.
Yeah, you can figure out who Starfish Hitler is.
Yes, or the disgusting expat we talked about, because we have a running competition of how finding the most disgusting, like, loser expat dirtbag in China, and we found him, and he wins. He won.
I still think like Starfish Hitler wins that though for...
I don't think he ever lived in China.
No, but I mean just for being the most bizarre nonsense you can come across. Anyway, yeah.
There's a couple things we do in that show.
Yeah.
We cover topics, right, that we can't cover. We cover funny clips.
Yep.
We have vote clips where you guys vote if you want to see it or not, and you guys vote on the next topic. We have this running thing. It's a big exercise in democracy. But it's also can get, like this one person said, Just Want to Smile says, that was definitely one of the trashiest episodes, lol. And it was,
Yeah.
but it was worth it because he's dethroned all the other disgusting expats like Clam Man for.
Oh
so to
yeah,
speak.
good old.
He's somehow become worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're definitely going to want to go check it out because you'll get access to that episode, all the ones before and all the ones coming in the future.
And it's not just sleazy stuff.
No,
obviously.
it's all kinds of fun
All
stuff. We've
sorts
done
of funny,
actual
interesting
exposés, like we're research stuff. It's great.
Anyway, let's continue with the show, guys. Please, let's move on to Soft Power Hour, which, of course, is our main segment of the show where we show how China is changing your mind through the power of the internet and various other things. And unfortunately, there's been a big win for Chinese soft power just in the last day or so. And that is Twitter. Now, unfortunately, Twitter is kind of volatile these days, all right? And one thing that Twitter did well, and it started to do very well, was the idea of doing state-affiliated media, like China state-affiliated media. I mean, listen, China is using Twitter and various other social media, Western social medias, with impunity, even though they block it in their own country. So it's not China using it, it's the Chinese government. They use it only for propaganda purposes, okay? And the outlets like the Global Times, for instance, here you can see it's got its label up there. It says China state-affiliated media. It is the Chinese state. It's not like CNN or anything in America, for instance, like NPR or something, may have some funding from the government, but they still have independent editorial rights. So, for instance, even though they get some money from the government, they can still criticize the government. They can still say, hey, I hate...
Only criticize.
Yeah, exactly. I hate Biden sucks and Trump sucks and Bill Gates got a blowjob or whatever. Oh, no, that was Bill Clinton. But you know what I mean? But they could say that. They could say that, right?
I mean, he probably got one at some point.
I'm sure.
It's probably consensual
somewhere
and good.
it is life, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is that in China, it's not the case. The Global Times, for instance, may not criticize the Chinese government. They may not criticize Xi Jinping. They may not say anything bad. All they can do is act as propaganda. So having a label like that is useful because when you see the Global Times, first of all, look at the name. It doesn't look Chinese, does it?
It was made to be like
that.
that.
You're like, Global Times. This must be some kind of international newspaper or
It's like
something.
the New York Times, but it's global.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They even use the New York Times font.
Yeah, they copied the design language. And they're like, well, we're going to talk about global political issues. But when all they say is America bad, China good, America bad, China good, that's all you see coming out of there. But like the normal person would look at Global Times and say, hey, this is a reputable news source.
Yeah, you know why? It even happens in Congress, remember?
Yeah.
Remember they entered that into the congressional record?
Exactly.
They quoted, what was that?
The Gates guy was
Matt
quoting,
Gates.
Yeah, was quoting the Global Times as a source.
Times, yeah.
So anyway, having a China state-affiliated media stamp on there is useful because it shows that, hang on a second, that is actually connected to the Chinese state, to the Chinese government, so I should bear that in mind when I consume this.
Yes. Now, I want everyone to understand how important that is.
Yeah.
It's not just because, it's only fair that a country that blocks Twitter gets labeled as propaganda because it has no editorial independence, right?
Sure.
That's in principle, of course. That's an of course.
Sure.
Right? That's a dangran, as we say in Chinese. But it's also because people's attention spans are so terrible nowadays that a lot of people don't get past the headline.
Yes.
And if you're passively kind of absorbing information as you scroll and scroll and scroll, a clear label very much helps you to realize, that one's from the Chinese state. Back off, right?
Yeah.
Or Russia, right? To remove those tags and labels is insulting. It's information warfare. We have a guy.
Did you show them that it's been taken out? Did you put that in?
No, that's coming.
Okay,
It's coming.
all
It's
right.
coming.
Yeah.
We have a guy that is in charge of Twitter, that is an American citizen, that has just removed Americans' ability to see state-funded propaganda from two countries that call America their enemy. That's information warfare.
He's just an American citizen out of convenience. He's a South African / Canadian / whatever the hell he wants to be. Whoever's going to give him subsidies, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
The justification is, all state labels have been removed. The BBC has editorial independence.
Yeah.
NPR has editorial independence. All of these news outlets that he gave a label to, like ingest 69% government funded to the CBC,
Sure.
have editorial independence, at least to a certain degree. And whatever, if you want to be a pedantic loser, then you can add those unfair labels to some of these outlets.
Yeah.
But now removing them from very clear state mal-aligned actors,
yes,
so that you don't know what you're digesting from your news is really, really bad.
Yeah, so basically, if you haven't guessed it by now, Twitter has removed these labels.
Yeah, so we're going to come to that in a second.
These labels are all gone now.
I wanted to give people a taste of the Global Times.
Okay, yeah. You want to see some of the Global Times here?
Well, their newest project.
Okay.
What are they working on right now?
Oh, the first issue of the Global Times Civilization series emphasizes Xi's ideas on the diversity and beauty of different civilizations. Literally, this is from China's state media, the Global Times. And they're talking about this new series they're doing of civilization, as in, you know, like you hear about Reaganomics or whatever, or, you know, where they mix it. Now President Xi and civilization are now one and the same.
He's not a president, dictator.
Sorry, dictator Xi. Civilization, isn't that just great?
That is North Korea level. That is Kim Jong-un level.
When I hear civilization, in my mind, I'm seeing squat toilets and, you know, like pork bones on the floor. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about beautiful Chinese history here. No. You know, like there's a lot of good, beautiful Chinese history. Xi Jinping does not embody any of that. No. Okay, he walks around in a Western business suit and is a dictator.
So you know what's crazy is that I think we're like Stockholm Syndrome now, because the biggest thing back in the day was when Kim Jong-il they named a flower after him, which is already an existing flower.
Sure.
It's like a chrysanthemum or something, I can't remember. And they called it Kim Jong-ilia. And that was like the funniest thing in the world. Everybody in the West is cracking up about how could a dictator like that name a flower after himself? Yeah. That's just ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. We're at that level now with China. Civilization?
Yeah, Civilization series. Remember Xi in my eyes?
Xi in my eyes?
Like Xi's thoughts.
Xi's thoughts?
Yeah, everything about Xi. It's ridiculous.
I'm you know, the whole joke is like, well, it's not a joke. It's actually
it's deadly serious.
Well, but in Kim Jong-il shot like 18 holes of golf and 19 shots or something. Yeah. So you got all holes in one except for one.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to wake up one day and see that Xi Jinping shot 17 shots for 18 holes. Yeah. Somehow he got 2 in 1, like the ball split in half.
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw this meme in relation to this, which I thought was pretty funny.
Okay.
It said the first issue of Global Times' Civilization series, and the response is, these are joke quotation marks, right?
Right? Yeah, no, they're not jokes. That's actually what they print. They're dead serious about the civilization garbage.
Civilization. I mean, how obvious is it that China now is the Chinese government now doesn't believe that China is the Chinese people's thing. It's literally Xi Jinping.
Yeah. Xi Jinping's the one who knows about civilization. No one else.
No one else. It's his.
Yeah.
Xi's.
So anyway, here you go. You look at Chen Weihua, Liu Xing. These are very well-known, government-affiliated people.
They all had tags.
They had tags, you know. Li Jingjing, Andy Borham, all these people, their tags are gone.
Yeah.
I
don't know what's going to help. Hopefully they're just reimagining things.
This is not a good thing because these are propagandists and government officials. So when you've got a government official and a propagandist from a hostile government who's only using the platform for propaganda, because if you read any one of these particular Twitter accounts that you see up here, all you see is anti-Western propaganda and pro-China, pro-Russia propaganda. Yeah. That
pro-war, pro-genocide.
Right there is like ridiculous. Yeah. Why are they allowed to be on these platforms anyway?
Why they're first?
Yeah.
It's blocked.
Yeah. They're using VPNs to circumvent the Great Firewall of China to be on there. And then they're spreading propaganda, and now they got their labels taken away.
That's my problem with Elon Musk here, is that it's one thing to have a label, right? Yeah. It's one thing to even be on here.
Yes.
You're from a country's hostile government that blocks Twitter.
Yes.
Doesn't allow its own citizens because they think less of them and they don't want them to be poisoned and talk to anyone internationally because they want to control the narrative. But their diplomats and their people can go out and spread their propaganda, which calls for blocking that thing that they're on.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, right?
No, it doesn't.
Then you remove their tags so that nobody knows. And now no one going forward might not even know that Chinese people aren't allowed and could go to jail for using Twitter, as we'll see later in the episode. Another person got arrested.
Yeah.
People in China, normal citizens, if they go on Twitter and express their beliefs, many times go to prison in China.
Yes.
So where are we here? This isn't about, I don't care what you believe about China or Russia. Everyone should have an even playing field. Those countries don't give their citizens an even playing field. You just gave their diplomats unlimited anonymous power to spread propaganda.
And here we go. For instance, here we got China's Xinhua News, which is the top most official news. All stuff coming out of Chinese news is official news from the government. But, this is the top one. Xinjiang, the largest cotton-growing region in China, now tops the wish list of places for foreigners visiting China. What a bunch of BS.
Well, I mean, why did they put this out, though?
Because they don't have a label anymore, and it looks natural.
Yes, and this is genocide denial.
Yes, it is.
If you know enough about the cotton saga, they started this huge cotton thing promoting how now Xinjiang's national flower is the cotton.
Yeah.
And it's
Remember that one where they're giving the
labor.
We did where they gave the bouquet of flowers to
instead of giving a bouquet when the propagandists show up and they come to visit. Oh, I'm here in Xinjiang. There's no genocide here. Then the paid CCP people will come and give a bouquet of cotton.
Yeah, we did that on Shaban Ho. Remember the spicy food foreigners? Yeah.
They're like, wow, it's so beautiful. This wasn't picked with slave labor.
No.
Because there's been slave labor in cotton picking in Xinjiang.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is we don't want to bang on about this too much. If you want to see, I made a video called China's Genocide Theme Park, where it shows all the foreigners going there and doing this genocide denial stuff. All going
I
to
did
the same
whole
places.
cotton. Look up Lao 86 cotton Xinjiang.
Exactly.
I did a whole cotton video.
The fact of the matter is now that these articles coming out aren't labeled as Chinese state media anymore, and they're just going to look legitimate, and they're not.
No.
This is what we're trying to get at.
It's so unfair. And China pays for how many thousands and if not millions of Twitter bots to go out and spread this stuff.
Yeah.
It's going unchecked now. It's information warfare.
Russian state media here, RT doesn't have a label either.
Nope.
And they're currently
freedom over censorship, truth over narrative.
Yeah, don't want your news filtered. Watch us. Yeah,
it's state sponsored from a country that censors everything.
That's invading another country.
That's invading another country. Now they have no label, so now you're gonna look at that and be like, oh, what's RT? You notice how they don't say Russia Today like everywhere?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like Global Times. They don't want you to think that it's from China.
Yeah,
And
I mean, like Xinhua, they call themselves like New China News and stuff. They try to like trick you. Anyway.
Media challengers, CGTN. It's another big one.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's gonna make our job a lot harder because when we show you something, we like to be able to put it out there and say we don't have to say this is state-sponsored. This is state-sponsored media. You know what I mean? It's actually this is gonna muddy the water so badly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, just looking at this, by the way, this is part of this. Not only did they remove labels, but this account here, Byron One, I guess he shares a bunch of anti-CCP stuff, right?
Yeah.
Look at this. It says Faces of Overseas Service Centers, outposts of Fuzhou Public Security Bureau in the world. And it goes through the different police stations from the CCP that they set up around the world.
We've been talking about that. Yeah. I think this is important to see down there.
What does it say?
The following media includes potentially sensitive content.
Do you know what the video is?
It's just an advert. Yeah, you want to see it?
It's just an advertisement. Oh, no, that's coming up. Sorry.
Oh, you put this in the wrong place? Okay.
No. It's just a continuation. It's because we're talking about Twitter here. Go back to that real quick.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to cover what's in this video. We're going to cover what this video is. It's not that. It's an advertisement in China for these overseas police stations.
Yeah.
It doesn't show anything bad. And I went through his whole account. Almost all of his posts are flagged with this, even if it's completely innocuous stuff.
This is the result of the Chinese 50-cent army flagging these videos as being sensitive content.
Yep.
Because they're not.
No.
But because they get enough flags of people saying this is vulgar or this is whatever, then Twitter will put like a thing on it just to be safe.
And you might think that's whatever, but do you know what that does? It collapses the media, so it doesn't catch your eye. You can't see it. You have to expand each post. If somebody sends it to you, you'll be like, whatever, I'm not going to look at that.
The thing is, we don't have a petty army of people that are going around and flagging all of the pro-CCP accounts posts. We don't have the same power. You see, China has in their employee thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that their only job is to go and like flag.
Multi-billion-dollar budget.
They flag posts that are critical of the Chinese government as inappropriate so that they get kind of pushed into the background. We don't have that kind of budget or the manpower to go and do that to the pro-CCP stuff, so it just proliferates.
No one does that.
Yeah. And also, nobody's that petty.
Yeah, this is also
They're
true.
not like little children.
I don't report people.
Yeah.
People report me.
Anyway, we're going to get onto the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, now behind us over here, we're getting into the ice cream thing here now. What you're seeing is a BMW showroom in China. This was taken today. And what you can see there is it says, 宝马会去德国. This basically says, it's like, BMW, get the hell back to Germany. Get out of China. And it's like spray painted, smashed on the windshield. And we've got another clip for you here, which is maybe even a little more extreme. We've got a guy throwing gasoline all inside his BMW. Setting it on fire. Okay, so you might be wondering what's going on.
Really scenic area. Yeah, why would somebody graffiti?
It's a rural countryside of China. It's
really actually what it looks like.
Yeah, it does. Whenever there's like a town. Yeah.
Anyway, you might think that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
You might say, why is someone graffitiing and smashing a BMW? Why is somebody setting a BMW on fire? Wouldn't it be weird if it was about ice cream?
Yeah.
Because it is.
So let me take you through this quickly.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got the Shanghai Auto Show, which is currently on right now, okay? It's one of the biggest events in the automotive world.
In a different city.
I would prefer that.
Yeah.
But also, this is the first time that it's opened up since the pandemic. Well, what I'm trying to say here is that foreign journalists, because foreign journalists go there to see all the new Chinese cars, right? That's the reason they go there. All automotive YouTube shows and stuff, they'll go there. But it's also a big event for Chinese local people to come and see what cars are on sale and what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's the first time since the pandemic that China has even allowed foreigners to get visas to go there, So finally, the foreign journalists can come. So it's a big event, and they're pulling out all the stops here, right? So, typical thing. But let me talk you through getting into the Shanghai Auto Show first. When you enter the Shanghai Auto Show, your bags are x-rayed, you are searched, and what they're looking for are any politically sensitive protest banners. So, if you wanted to say something like free Tibet, or, hold up a blank piece of paper, or say, free the Uyghurs or something like that.
Even if you said freedom is great.
Yeah, like this.
Great.
Then, they'll detain you and get rid of your stuff right there. Okay, here's a clip of that happening, of people getting searched. And they admit that that's what they're doing, what they're looking for. Okay.
If you don't know that, though, you got to understand
China. Yeah, you got to understand China. It's not, think about it. Of all things to search for, you're searching for like a Tibetan flag or whatever at an auto show. That's the priority.
That's my problem. Do you understand what I say? I'm not trying to be a petty douche. Pick a different city. Don't pick China. Because if you have to do that, then you pick the wrong country to be a journalist then. What are you doing there? Get out of there.
Okay, now I've got to give you a little bit of backstory before we even start this. Because I understand how this got out of control.
Yeah.
But you also, once you hear the backstory, you'll be flabbergasted. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So BMW Mini, because the Mini
Mini Cooper,
belongs to BMW. Don't buy one of those, by the way.
Pretty shit, aren't they?
They're terrible. And to work on them as a mechanic is like the worst thing in the world. Anyway, BMW Mini were giving out free ice creams, like little ice creams, okay, like in a tub.
And Häagen-Dazs?
Something like that. Something similar. They gave out 300 free ice creams to the attendees. Okay, to everybody.
To everyone. Doesn't matter who you are.
But then they ran very low.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, the incident that sparked this off, which I'm going to show you now, this foreign guy who goes and gets an ice cream is apparently, according to some articles, he's actually BMW staff.
Oh, okay.
Other articles are saying that he's like a close friend, or he's he's very well known, or an acquaintance of the people that were handing out.
He's related to the BMW.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it was kind of like there's only a few left type thing.
Oh, okay.
And he goes there, and I guess they had an arrangement to keep a couple extra on the side for the staff or for people they knew type thing.
Okay.
Okay, so just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Before we show the clip, because when you're armed with that knowledge, you'll see how petty and ridiculous all of this is. So, I did a rough translation of this, but the guy, and I'll read it out for everyone. There's a guy filming the BMW girls giving out ice cream. So here, you've got some young girls going there to try and get an ice cream. And it says, this young lady wants to get an ice cream. And the booth babes, for lack of a better word, said, sorry, we've run out. Okay? And then the young lady, disappointed, jogs on. Okay? A few seconds later, by the way, this is the clip that sparked everything off.
This is the clip that the clip is going around China right now that made everyone mad.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the search terms are like more than 93 million views.
Right.
Okay?
But you translated it.
Yeah, I translated this. He put in his own subtitles, and I translated his subtitles,
gotcha.
okay? It says, Ji Miao Zhong Ho. Anyway, just a few seconds later, a foreign man appears. This foreigner also takes interest in the cold, refreshing embrace of ice cream.
You took a little creative liberty with that subtitle.
Yeah, I added a bit of flair because otherwise it's just mad boring.
Just reading
it's
the
like
Chinese here.
He also wanted an ice cream, okay? All right, so let's see what happens next.
我很喜欢冰淇淋。
Apparently foreigners love Bing Chiling, you know,
They do. You had to turn that in.
Yeah,
Be a
absolutely.
waste.
So anyway, the two ladies fawn over this foreigner and give his foreign ass a delicious ice cream.
Again, you did not write this. This is what the guy is saying in his video.
Well, no,
Of course, you took creative liberty. My
Yeah.
point is, this is the general meaning.
Yeah, exactly. The general
I'm
meaning.
saying you're not being petty that these Chinese girls are fawning over a foreigner.
No. These are my creative.
I know. I want everyone to understand. This is the
Slightly
video
creative-
going around China.
Yeah. I mean, it just says Liang Wei Xiao Jie Jie.
Yeah, I
They
got it.
you know, they give him the choice and they give him an ice cream, okay? But you can tell the resentment dripping from this guy's
Right.
subtitles, okay?
I like your flair.
Yeah. He says, 什么鬼? So what, the fudge balls? Didn't they say they'd run out? Because now the girls, they dig in the bottom
Shenmue
there.
just means what the hell.
Yeah. And they're like, produced one. Okay, so then it's like, this chaps my hide. I'm going to straighten this out. Well, that's what he's, yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, it does. Yeah, I mean, in a way.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So now he's like really pissed off and is silently in his subtitles because he hasn't said anything
No,
yet,
but he's
right?
real mad.
He's super mad because
In
now
fact, his subtitles come off more mad than what you wrote.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's like, what the hell? Now they're showing him how to eat it?
Again, he's potentially, or rumor has it, he's the BMW employee, so they saved him one, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's an acquaintance, according to multiple articles I've read.
They've given ice cream to Chinese people, foreigners, doesn't matter.
Yeah, so 300 ice creams have already been given out to Chinese people, everybody, okay? It wasn't selective. But if you look at his subtitle, he's like, 不会吃 woman show. So it's like, oh, you can't eat it? Well, don't worry. We'll use our own hands to show you how to do it.
Right.
You know, you can tell he's so resentful, this guy, whoever's writing.
He's very mad.
He's super. He's like, give me the attention.
Right,
I want the attention.
Right.
You know? Anyway.
Oh.
And so good. And so he's like, good?
You know what? I feel he's pretty irritated.
He's, dude, yeah.
Makes me irritate at the mere mention of Big Bang.
Yeah. So, you know, the thing is that the girls say good, and so he like puts the subtitles, good, question mark. He's like, you know what I mean? Good.
Good?
Yeah, well, I mean, he follows it up with like, he's like, I'm hella not good. You know, like, it's like, I am not good. You know what I mean? In other words, like,
He's like, I'm pissed.
Yeah, I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
What are you talking about good? How dare you, like, fawn over this foreigner?
可以免费拿吗？
So he's like, he asks, can you give me a free one? I want that cold, sweet embrace.
Which he just says, can you give me a free one?
Yeah, he's like, I want you to give me a free one.
yeah.
Can I get a free one from you? Okay. So they say, oh, I'll get us out of here. They say, sorry, we're out.
发完了吗？
And he's like, oh, really? They're like, okay, I'll take another look.
码里面我看看有。
He's like, give me a butcher's. If there aren't any in there, then I don't want one.
That
So,
means give me a look.
yeah,
and
butcher's
Cockney
hook. Yeah.
slang.
So, and in his subtitles, it's like taking a sneak peek.
要是没有的话，我就不要了。
And then he says, blah, blah, they're just making excuses. Whatever, shut the F up. Seems like they're happy to give cold and sweet ice cream to foreigners. but not to us Chinese people.
Okay, so he didn't understand. Okay. If he didn't know that they had given them out to everyone equally before,
and he just saw that,
then I kind of get it. Because that's kind of messed up. Of course, you should be equal.
Yeah, I mean,
it.
if you're watching and you see like they say no to like a Chinese girl that asks, and then some foreigner comes there and gets one, I get why you get pissed off. But, you know, you got to understand the context. You can't always jump to conclusions like this.
No, of course not. Because it turned into, and you can see what hive mind does.
Yeah.
When you have, the government can turn off the tap or turn on the tap, they allow information out. When they allow this out, woo!
Anyway, it gets interesting. So then he stalks them. So they notice I'm obsessively filming and stalking them. So the staff quickly tried to get rid of the evidence by taking the ice cream box away. So, I mean, the guy was literally standing there complaining and filming them. So then they're like, look, let's just get this box out of here. You know, this guy won't leave us alone. So staff member, by the way, this is all Chinese staff that set this up and ran this. Okay, this is a Chinese. It's got nothing to do with BMW.
No.
As a brand.
No. This isn't like the CEO of BMW said, can we give away ice cream in
and
Shanghai?
only give it to foreigners, you know?
That's not
but you
what
better
happened.
make sure that no local Chinese people get an ice cream.
Right.
Okay, anyway, so the staff guy, he comes and he's like, okay, let's just get this problem out of here. And he takes it away. Okay. But they forgot to take down the notice for free ice cream.
Oh, stupid move.
He's like, I'm going to film the hell out of that. Obviously, because
Lunair's ice. What is Lunair's?
I think it's the brand of ice cream that they were giving out. So he like stalks the guy taking the box away. Then he goes around to film some the foreigners sitting around the BMW area here that was still eating their ice cream here.
Let me guess, he didn't film any Chinese people eating the ice cream, like potentially the one on the right.
It's like, just look at all this foreign consumption of sweet ice cream.
Actually, it's not at all what it says. It says...
Yeah, but look, it gets there. It's like, it's our Chinese people buying these cars, right? What the F is this foreign ice cream sponsoring BS? I mean, that's what you can read from that.
No, for sure. He says, it's all Chinese people buying the car, so why are you catering these foreigners?
Yeah. Why are these foreigners getting ice cream? Okay. So...
Fair enough.
Then it starts
I'll get on board with that. It's real.
Then it starts to get like ridiculous. So then obviously this word starts to spread. So now it's not the same guy. Someone else goes to the local 7-Eleven, buys a crap load of ice creams in a bag and throws them in the middle of the aisle and says, free ice creams only for Chinese people.
Oh my
only
God.
Chinese people can take a free ice cream.
So this is
so now it actually becomes racist.
This is where it kicks off.
Yeah, this is where it actually becomes racist.
It would have been racist earlier if that was the case, if what he was saying was true.
Yeah, but now it turns into a like only Chinese people.
Us versus them.
Yeah.
中国人免费的，一人拿一个，一人拿一个，不是迷你送的，是个人送的，咱中国人自己送的。
He said it's free for Chinese people. You can take one, and one person take one.
Yeah.
我们有展台，中国人免费的。
It's free for Chinese.
It's free for Chinese people, and then he's like giving thumbs up.
谢谢。
Because obviously, people got kind of mad.
Yeah. Then, like the security tried to like shut him down. Like, what are you causing a ruckus here? But then he like explained, no, I bought these for our Chinese people. So then they let him continue.
This is the ice cream war begins.
Chinese people take one. Chinese people, it's free for Chinese people. Chinese people only
so he
take
starts
one.
making a real ice cream ruckus. It's bragging about the ice cream. I wonder which one tasted better.
Absolutely, the other one. These are those crappy 7-Eleven, you know?
No,
really...
I know, but I don't know that brand. I'm saying I don't know if it's any good.
Absolutely, it was better. You know, if you've had those, they've been in that freezer so long that it's
They're
ice.
rock.
It's not even ice cream, it's just ice.
It's The Rock, but John Cena, actually.
It's John Cena. Been chilling.
So the bag is empty now.
So.
People are sending like stickers and stuff because he's live streaming.
Yeah. So then, and I hate this word, but a key opinion leader.
Oh, you had to say it.
I had to say it.
KOL.
I hate that. KOL.
What a wanker term.
You're terrible.
So important that you're a KOL.
Yeah, I know. It's
whatever.
Terrible.
People used to call us KOLs when we did speeches, and we're like, no, thanks.
No, we're just normal dudes. Anyway, so she comes along and she's got 30,000 people watching her live stream, and
Sure.
she starts to kick up a fuss about this. Like, why are foreigners
So she
only...
wants to get on this riot.
Yeah, she's like, why are foreigners only
Right.
getting ice cream and us Chinese people aren't getting ice cream?
Oh, no.
You know? So she jumps on this whole thing and she wants an explanation.
The great ice cream war began.
So, okay, security comes in. Now, I want you to pay attention because, look, this is just a demonstration in China. This is China.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, fair enough. If she has a legitimate grievance, because let's say it hasn't been cleared up.
No,
And
I
as
know.
far
and
as-
that's why I get it.
As far as the Chinese people that are spreading this stuff around is concerned, there is some like discrimination going on here.
sure.
BMW's only giving free ice cream, cold treats to foreigners only.
If that was the case, that would be bullshit.
It would be, and I agree with you 100%. So she's trying to bring up a legitimate grievance, and she's trying to find out. So the security guys come and they surround her. But what do? Rather than de-escalating the situation, trying to figure it out.
By the way, this
Yeah.
is the best part.
Yeah. First of all, one of the dudes gets an umbrella and tries to block her so people can't see her. You'll see. He comes around here. Where is he? He's like trying to figure out, like, how do I open this umbrella? Anyway, first of all, she's surrounded by like 20-odd guards. So he brings this umbrella. He's trying to block it so that people can't see. You know?
Don't see the chaos.
Yeah,
Don't see this KOL.
I mean,
this key opinion leader.
You also have to understand that this is a big event, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of international eyes there, and
Yeah.
they don't want people to see this kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know? Especially since, you know, a lot of people are investing in China. This is what this kind of thing is all about. Come invest in our EVs. Come invest in our stuff, right?
I hate to tell you this, but China needs to understand, and people that go to China need to understand that China is chaotic. It is chaos. Stuff breaks out, and it's crazy because it's just how it is, right? When you have government control over information so tightly that when one thing slips out, it causes an uproar because people have so much pent-up anger and they can't express themselves anywhere, and it's a completely censored society, very not free place.
Yeah.
Government's super authoritarian. That when one thing comes out, everyone's like, yeah, whoa, let's do this. Let's
Also,
get our...
I mean, yeah, think about it. The government's been pumping down everyone's
Yeah,
throats for the
that
longest time.
everyone's the enemy.
Yeah, that foreigners are the enemy.
And here they are right in front of you.
Yeah, so it's like, look, these foreigners are getting special treatment, and then they like get enraged because that's what they've been told to do.
So everyone, from foreigners to Chinese people, have to understand this is just how it is there. This is how it is. I don't care if the Chinese government doesn't want people to think it's not chaotic. It is.
It is. Anyway, so let's take a look at what happens. So then they bring out the censorship sheet, the real life censorship
Yes, I love
sheet.
it. Like, you know, when you put you block someone's mouth in a music video that says the F word. It's like that in real life.
They actually just have a big black sheet to like block her so no one can see her.
And we saw that rolled out. We actually caught the the police drills.
Yeah, we had that in an episode.
During the white paper protests, Xi Jinping Shatai, you know, the get out, step down Xi Jinping thing. People, they couldn't hold up signs, so they just started holding up white pieces of paper in Shanghai. And so they had police drills where they literally had tent poles and a sheet on it, and they would actually just block people with a blank piece of paper.
Chinese people, this is the government that you're defending is a government that will block you and just completely try to make you disappear if you do anything that they're not happy with.
Yeah.
This is your government. This is your police force here. This is your security guards. This is your event, and you're being blocked out of it because you're pissed off about foreigners getting ice cream. Okay? It's such a stupid thing when you say it out loud.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's dumb.
The fact that they busted out a censor sheet.
Yes, but it gets better,
It does
okay?
get better.
Because, so they like try to block her, as you can see here.
Yeah, don't look.
Yeah. They're like, nobody
It was
look.
chaos.
Yeah, they're like, nobody film this, nobody can see this. Oh, then they like wrap her in the blanket. They actually like just black bag her at some point.
They black bag her for streaming this chaos.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. In fact, I've got a clip in a minute where you can see from her perspective, you know, kind of what happened.
Tony Wilson says, "I believe this to be the case because I lack object permanence. It just disappears."
Exactly. Look, they're dragging her out. Okay.
Yeah. Don't censor us, YouTube. This is not.
Don't worry.
Don't age restrict us. It's not violent.
Look. They actually have her with a. She looks like she's wearing a like wearing a burqa or something because they wrapped her in this black sheet.
They forced burqa'd her.
Yeah, they just basically wrapped her up so no one could see her. They're like don't ask questions about ice cream in my presence.
I have no idea there's a human being under that sheet. I have no clue.
They got an umbrella. They've wrapped her in a black sheet. Okay,
could be anything.
It's ridiculous.
There is a woman. Can I just say this? There is a woman black bagged in a sheet, covered with an umbrella because she's mad that Chinese people didn't get ice cream.
Yes,
this is where we're at. And guys, China, again, I hate to say this to you, but your country is chaos. You're going to have to embrace it.
I hope that the foreign journalists at the Shanghai Auto Show got to see this.
Yeah.
All these guys going there, like, China's the future.
China's the future.
Let's look
it's
at all the,
orderly.
let's invest a shitload of money in the EV technology and stuff. Let's do it. Let's buy up and let's fund the military and stuff. This is, did you see this? Is this the kind of place that you need to invest in? You know what I mean?
Force Burqa, the worst Star Wars movie yet.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so there they get her out of here, right?
Wow, so good. Let's see, what does Rick say about this?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Wow, so good.
I knew you would like it.
Yeah, no, he loves that. Anyway, so off she goes, and you can see it from her point of view in a minute.
This is great.
Yeah.
I think you got a first-person view of what it looks like in the sheet.
Yeah, I do.
Behind the cloth.
Behind the sheet, yeah. You know?
I love this so much. You have this guy dressed in black trying to block everything.
Everyone's like, don't film, get out of here, like, stop, you know? And this is just because she wanted to ask questions about ice cream. Yeah, okay, so...
I'm taking her side on this.
Yeah. Here they are dragging her out, you can see. Okay, so this is her...
here is it from her perspective.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I'm very worried about what's going to happen to her.
Yeah.
It's in the sheet.
Yeah. It'll get loud in a minute.
Don't take me away, she keeps saying. She says, I'm scared. No one's getting hit, by the way. Just YouTube, chill out. I know you're trigger happy.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in the bag.
She's in the bag.
Yeah. She's saying, save me, save me, save me.
I love the likes in it. Like, how dystopian is it?
Yeah.
While this is happening, she's getting, like, likes and gifts. I know. She's in bags. I died to leave me. Yeah. She's in the bag.
Yeah. Oh, my phone, my phone.
Is she back here?
No, they've got her phone.
Oh, the cops have her phone.
Yeah. And they give it to her. I mean, here you could see her being dragged out.
I mean, this is because of ice cream, dude.
I know.
This is one of the best segments we've ever had. It's so insane.
Because it's so dumb.
It's so stupid, and it's in Shanghai.
Yeah, again, the most sophisticated city in China.
I mean, look at the sheer force of people involved in this ice cream thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, get out of here! Don't record this, and people will get punished for it.
And they put the sheet back up, by the way.
They did.
So, like, you know, I went through a lot of footage, and so she's out there, and they put the sheet. You can see the sheet back up in the distance there.
Yeah.
In fact, here I'll fast forward a little bit.
Sorry, but
what?
The idea that she's getting black bagged about ice cream and everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're giving like, yeah, I know.
The gifts are just rolling in. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll fast forward. See, this is where she's stuck outside, and she gets her phone back, and you can see she's trying to film over the black sheet that they're holding in front of her so none of the guests can see her.
I actually feel like I'm on drugs right now because this is like a fever dream. You'd wake up and be like, I'm watching a live stream about a woman getting blackbagged about ice cream at the Shanghai Auto Expo.
I know.
With an umbrella.
Can you just imagine? You're a live streamer and you're like, hey, like what's going on with this ice cream situation? Is it true that foreigners are giving ice?
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna get live real quick. I'm a key opinion leader.
Yeah.
What's this deal about this ice cream? I heard foreigners are getting ice cream, but Chinese people are not.
Yeah, I know. It's like umbrellas and it's like black bag drag you out. Yeah, exactly.
And then because they put a burqa on her, they'll end up throwing her in the concentration camps. In Xinjiang,
maybe
they'll get confused.
Yeah,
in the detention
but I don't know the eventual outcome of what she ended up doing.
I'm like dizzy. It's so weird.
Yeah, she got tons of gifts and thumbs up and stuff.
Yo, it's definitely a successful stream.
But as a result, now you see, this is a bullshit thing, okay? BMW apologizes for its slip at Shanghai Auto Show after social media users accuse it of giving ice cream to foreigners and not locals. And BMW's share price has dropped,
oh my gosh.
I think 3.6% in China. Yeah. So the German carmaker's shares fell 3.6% on Thursday. Like, it just shows you how, first of all, foreign companies, this is what happens when you engage in China. A stupid little thing like this, which, by the way, didn't have anything to do with BMW. It was a little kerfuffle because of a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
You get people burning your cars, smashing your cars, your share prices drop.
Yep.
Okay? You get outrage. You get people screaming in the aisles about Chinese people only getting free ice creams and stuff. You get absolute absurdities. The amount of vitriol online, like just, first of all, aimed towards BMW, but also German people and just foreigners in general because of this stupid little incident is crazy. And this is what happens when you're dealing with an unstable country. You can't.
I mean,
stop pandering.
It's just like that could cause that.
Yes.
It's insane.
It's literally like, hey guys, can you make sure you just keep a couple of ice creams aside for later, because when I'm done with this, I want to, I'm going to come over. And they're like, yeah, we'll keep one for you. And he comes and gets his ice cream and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I hope my wife kept me some ice cream. I want some ice cream so bad. I don't eat this late usually. It's 6:15.
Yeah, well, anyway, guys, this is also just a very clear indication as to how quickly xenophobia can kick in.
Yeah, it really
and you do
blows up.
not want to be a foreigner in a situation like that. Because if you weren't in the Shanghai Expo, which is the most sophisticated city in China, in the auto show with international press and everything there, if you were just, say, in a local market in the middle of somewhere and something similar like this breaks out, they will mob you, they will lynch you, they will beat you.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's
real
not
bad.
good.
No.
So you got to watch out.
I actually think I'm getting dizzy because I'm doing this intermittent fasting thing where I eat like really late and then cut it off super early.
Oh, really?
And I think I'm dipping. I would love some food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the ice cream's gonna make me really hungry.
Yeah. Eat some ice cream. Get some ice cream. It's good stuff.
Okay.
Now, guys, earlier we showed you that Byron 1 tweet where it said that this is sensitive. Don't click this. It's sensitive. The media.
Yes.
This is the media.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'd like to read what's just above my head here. It says, Hai Wai Yao Yao Ling. And Hai Wai means overseas.
Yes.
It literally means Hai means sea and Y means outside.
Yes.
Sea outside, overseas.
Yep.
110. Now, 110 is the police in China.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like when you call 911 in America, but 911 is like a catch-all.
Yeah.
110 is for police.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the police. Overseas, 110, emergency call service, counter of Fuzhou police. Okay, let's take a look at this. What is this?
This is the actual domestic ad for the... Just run it, dude.
It's loud.
Turn it down.
None
None of this is meant to pause.
I want everybody to hear the voice. It's for those who don't know, like in American TV ads, it's like, and if you call now, you'll also receive. It's the Chinese equivalent of that. It's basically like this.
It's like the Baijiu ad.
Yeah. Bai Yun. You know what I mean? Lun Lun de Tian. Bai Yun Baijiu. And then you see someone without teeth or whatever. Anyway, let's just play this in the background without sound because it's annoying. But this is basically showing Toronto and
they're
Paris.
bragging about the police stations abroad. You guys heard about the police stations abroad. They're bragging about them here. There's evidence now that they were actually promoting it in China.
I mean, take a look. They're showing
Just
police.
play it.
Yeah, they're showing
It's
police cars. They're showing helicopters, and they talk about this ad how that these overseas police stations are cracking down on fraud and cracking down on crimes. You know, like scam crimes and all sorts of things.
China was literally running police stations abroad.
Yeah, I mean that's the
Illegally.
whole point. There's a point to this video, by the way. It's not just an ad for these things, which they claim were service stations
just
for
to get a driver's
license.
Yeah.
This is an actual look at it. They made a big thing out of it, right?
Yeah.
Huge thing out of it in the local media. So this has just recently surfaced, obviously. And there's
So
like
you gotta pay
Highway.
attention to the Chinese internet.
Yeah, Ling.
Because the whole thing, by the way, it's very important to understand that the people, like China was deflecting and making fun of this. They're like, we don't have Chinese police stations abroad. What are you talking about, you stupid Westerners?
Yeah.
We don't have this. Like Chinese state media was making actual political cartoons about it.
Yeah.
They had their media pundits like Li Jingjing and stuff. You think the police stations are bad? You know, and there's no police stations, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And literally
this is
right
their
here.
advert for their domestic propaganda about how effective
and where they
and
are.
amazing the police stations are. Yeah, and it shows you where they are all over the world.
Cracking down on crime with crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a Chinese abroad? Don't worry. We'll make sure that you don't get to say or think whatever you want.
Yeah.
You still have to follow Chinese law or we'll imprison your family.
Now, the best part about it is they show some of the participants of these overseas police stations, and they show, as you can see here, these are all the different police stations from around the world.
Ooh, they're trying to scrub this clip real bad right now.
One of them that they happen to show is the one in New York.
Yeah.
So
Coming up real quick here, don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, I put
and
it
these
to
two
play.
guys, these are the two guys that were arrested.
It's Liu Jianwang and Chen Jinping.
Yeah. You think he's related to Xi Jinping?
He's not.
Okay, all right. Anyway.
Jinping would be a given name. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would be Xi. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it would be the other way around. Anyway, the fact that I know. Oh man, I've been out of China too long, guys. This is in the official propaganda video about how effective the overseas police stations are at combating crimes abroad, like fraud and what have you. Yeah. And it shows this one in New York, USA. It says over there, you know, and it shows the two people right over here that were arrested.
I got a little evidence of that too.
Yeah.
Let's play that real quick.
Yeah, it's
I probably shouldn't have made that ad. Oh,
yeah.
Now everybody knows all the people involved and all the ones around the world. Oh, you named them.
Yes, they've got their names, their plaques. So whoever you are in whichever government around the world, go look for those people right
look
now.
at that video.
Go look for them. You've got
Enjoy.
their names. Go look. They're running the police stations in your country.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oof.
Yeah.
They're trying to really scrub this.
And this is obviously the FBI arresting one of them.
Yes. Yeah, one of them. Obviously, both of them were arrested. But oh, there's some more. Ooh, well, names and everything.
Yeah.
Why'd you make this promotion? Ooh.
Yeah, there's the Barcelona one. Like, see these guys sitting around here, Barcelona, in Spain? Maybe you should invite them to a bullfight. You know what I mean?
If you can survive this bullfight, then you get to get back home.
Hey, Japan. Hey, Tokyo,
Japan.
Japan.
Have a little look.
Yeah,
I know
who
you
are these?
guys are cracking down big time on CCP influence.
Yeah, who are these guys?
Have a little look.
Yeah, look, they're wearing their red scarf and they're showing their fealty to the party. And this is their overseas police station. Maybe, I don't know.
Have a little look?
Yeah, have a little session where you talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Big oof moment for that ad. Probably don't brag about having police stations around the world where you harass and target people that are critical of the CCP.
Yes.
And run them illegally and then promote it domestically. Probably don't do that.
Yeah.
If you're going to have like an intelligence spy network, maybe you don't just make an ad for it about how you have control of everyone. Because you know why it's used. It's used for domestic propaganda to say, it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, where you go, we'll get you.
We know where you are, what you're
we
doing.
will find you. We will get you. And I mean, imagine that just imagine you're planning to immigrate or go study in America.
Yeah.
And this is playing on TV nonstop, and you keep seeing it come up with like New York in America, or you're going to Paris or something, and you see it. Then you're like, oh shit! So like, I'm gonna go to America, but I'm just still gonna have to self-censor and be careful because there they are, waiting for me.
Yep.
When I arrive in America, there they'll be.
Yep.
You know.
Not good.
It's kind of crappy, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a little too much for me.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people try to excuse it away. They're just service stations or whatever, you know?
Shut up.
But here's the thing. Even if you were to open a so-called service station, you still need to register with the local police or with the local government, and none of them did.
Why do you think the FBI arrested the New York station? Why do you think the rest of those two guys? It's not because they were doing driver's licenses.
No. And that's the biggest stupid excuse.
Another thing?
Yeah.
Another thing? Why were some of these police stations operating without a sign in laundromats and restaurants?
Yes.
Why were they hiding?
Yeah.
Why did they burn evidence?
Yeah.
Why did they delete all the messages when they're getting investigated?
Exactly.
I wonder. It must be all that driver's license data they must be trying to get rid of.
Correct.
It's bullshit. China's running an intelligence network across the world. They're full of shit. They're basically a terrorist government at this point. Deal with it.
You've got proof.
Yeah. I mean, what does the Safeguard Defenders put together the report? Look at that report. It's all right in front of you.
Just look at the Chinese propaganda.
Yeah.
Just that one film.
Yeah.
It's made by the Chinese government bragging about doing what they're doing, which is illegal and wrong. Anyway, guys, it's time for us to move to our next section, which, of course, is the Wumao Corner. And, man, do we have one for you today.
Yeah, let me set it up.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I got alerted to this because this is something I've seen a lot, like, over the years, and it kind of annoys me, but the Chinese community was really annoyed.
Yeah.
And I was noticing these, like, the when Chinese netizens get angry, they don't hold back.
No.
And especially diaspora that are living overseas. So a lot of American Chinese people were, like, raging online about what we're going to show you.
So there was this video that was going around from... It's all out of this place called the Mountie Fresh Food Pantry, which was at this university or community college over in LA, right? Now, in LA, they have community colleges, and they had a food program set up by social services.
Yeah, so in other words,
California taxpayer stuff.
California taxpayers pay into social services, and this is to help out the needy.
Yeah, because it's a community college, so it's going to be a state-run thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is something you have to understand is that the video you're going to see started pissing people, Chinese netizens off, not only in China, but mostly Chinese Americans or Chinese people that have moved to America.
Yeah.
Because they have either integrated or they're trying to fit in or they're like, they don't want people to take advantage of free services.
Yeah.
Right. And make China look bad, I guess.
Yeah. Could we read the description here?
So it says, the Mountie Fresh Food Pantry is available to all Mount SAC students, I guess that's the college, who feel that they are in need. We define need as a situation, this is the rule, right?
Yeah.
We define need as a situation where students are faced with financial challenges and would otherwise have no resource to supplement their meals, right?
Yeah, so you're a poor student, you just don't have
great
money.
Service.
Yeah. They offer food for you.
If I'm totally honest with you, I could have used something like that when I was in college, like right in the beginning. I could barely pay for gas and stuff. I'm working to pay for school. You know?
It's for people in need, specifically with the pandemic and everything.
Sure.
It's been set up to help the needy. Okay?
Yes, it's for needy people.
Unfortunate people that
no
don't have
matter
money.
where you're from.
Yes.
You can take advantage if you're a student, right?
Yes.
Now, the reason this pissed off so many people is, let's just roll the clip.
Yeah, let's roll the clip.
This is pissing off the Chinese community real bad.
Yeah. So let's see. What could make them so mad? Oh, I better put the volume back up.
Yeah.
Let's get it back up to
Don't
100.
do a pause thing. Let's just play it through.
Just going to play it through?
And we can give the gist at the end for the listeners.
All right. Okay, we'll give a gist. Sorry. Oh, man. I got to skip forward that little description there. Okay, here we go.
这东西太多了啊，很多东西我都没拿，要全拿我都得拎不动了，也不知道好不好吃，先一样少拿点。现在人少了，哎呀妈呀！
先看看其他同学都选的什么东西，有吃的，有喝的，还有用的。这是洛杉矶的社区大学，我在这免费学英语。 每个月的固定日期还可以拿着学生卡来领食物。听说拿学生卡去看电影可以打折，就我这英语水平还是不去了吧。每样东西都是有限制的，不能多拿。这些是我今天选的。
甜甜，把你的房间收拾收拾，下午带你上商场买鞋去。
I think we need to stop you for a second.
No, I mean the whole crux of this is coming up here.
Yeah, I know, but okay. I just want to, for those of you who listen.
Yeah, sure.
You've got a Chinese family, so you see the mother and the kid and the father or whatever, and they're basically saying,
blanked out the kid because this is not
obviously
the kid's choice.
It's not the kid's choice to be there. We've got morals. She puts her own kid out there. Anyway, so they're saying like, wow, there's so much free stuff. I wish I could have taken more. I just don't have enough space type thing, you know?
More or less, yeah.
And then they're like, I study here for free. I study English for free, right? That's what it said. And with my student card, I can just come take this food. And then they're like, "Oh, look."
She's also saying there's a limit. Like you shouldn't take too much.
Yeah, but then they're like,
fair.
And then she's like, "This is what I took today," and it's a freaking table. It's a whole week's worth of groceries. Okay. Sure. So anyway, they go in, they grab all the drinks, they grab all the stuff. They're like, "Oh, there's so many free things here. You've got food, you got drink, you've got other things like tampons, whatever. Right. You know, let's see what else other people took. This is what I took today," and they show this massive table full of junk.
Which would be one thing if you're poor. So the reason Chinese people are getting mad is because apparently people that follow this account realize that these people don't need it.
Of course not. I mean, like
the controversy.
Here we could take a look. Like this is what I chose today, and there's literally like a week's worth of groceries there.
Sure.
Okay. And then now this is the part that infuriated people. Then they show their everyday life, and you can see these people are rich.
Right.
Okay, so let's just take a look.
甜甜，把你的房间收拾收拾，下午带你上商场买鞋去。
What it says here, pause it. This is actually the most important sentence of the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is what made everyone mad, because if you stopped that video at that point, you'd be like, whatever, maybe they're poor.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they need it. Maybe they need, because it's government assistance is what it is. Right?
Yeah. They're studying for free anyway, and now they're getting all the free food.
Right. And it's for people in need. Remember the rule?
Yeah, it's for people in need,
And it says, after getting such a good deal, we should spend to contribute. And actually what it says in Chinese is a colloquialism. It means like I've took advantage of the deal so much.
I got such a good deal.
Such a good deal that we have to spend back into the economy to contribute back.
Yeah, to buy ourselves stuff.
Yeah, to buy stuff.
Yeah, so let's treat ourselves, basically. It's like, we got such a good deal. Now we can spend the money that we would have had to spend on treating ourselves.
And this is what made all the Chinese people mad. Shopping escapade that they go on.
I just realized we're gonna get hit with copyright this damn song.
Well, that's why you got to keep pausing it then.
Okay. We don't need volume.
No, you don't need anything now.
Not anymore.
No more dialogue.
Yeah. Okay. So you could see the wife and daughter, I guess, going into like high-end shops all around California, buying expensive Nike shoes and trying on different things and just having a big shopping spree.
I don't buy any of these name brand stuff.
Yeah. No, dude. It's like $300 shoes.
I don't have shoes like that.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the point, because this is what caught our attention, was that all over Twitter and all over we follow a lot of the Chinese language diaspora.
Yeah.
And they were going wild about these clips, because there's a whole thread about this whole phenomenon where there's government aid for homeless people, especially homeless people, or people in need, and then you have people that at least appear like they don't need it.
Rich people.
Taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you guys can translate these comments if you want to. It's real brutal.
They are rough. The Chinese people don't hold back, dude.
Pretty mean
They are freaking rough. So, I mean, if you wanted to get a little insight into what the Chinese diaspora feels about these particular people, go ahead and put up Google Translate to the screen, and you can see what Chinese people are saying about this.
And this is just a smattering.
Just a tiny sample.
Because of this, there was a whole thread, and it was actually interesting to see this whole phenomenon. Apparently, there's this whole group of Chinese diaspora that goes around exposing these grab hags.
Grab hags,
And this one guy, I guess, in San Francisco, he'll go around and start filming people. And what they do is, you can pause it. Not you.
This was relief stuff, and again, it's the problem is about this. Okay, and here's the thing: is you can't paint everybody with a broad brush, right? But the Chinese social media like Xiaohongshu and WeChat and all that, people post, like that woman posted, look, it's so cool, you can get free stuff, and it spreads around as if it's okay, because they make it as if it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong, and so a lot of people that wouldn't have even known about it or done it suddenly think it's okay.
Right.
And so you see these queues where it's literally just only Chinese people, because they've all read about it. It's like what happened with the seafood thing I talked about. Remember, like, there was a rule that you could take a certain amount of mussels off the beach? And it spread like wildfire through the Chinese community, and everybody went there with buckets and destroyed the coast. Just because it's a good thing to do.
Right.
And there's no concept of conservation.
Sure.
And it was a different kind of a story. There's no conservation in China.
Yeah.
So here, another guy, this we believe is in San Francisco, is basically going to check out this is like handouts for needy people.
Yeah.
And you can see the...
It's like it's a homeless aid from the government.
Yeah, homeless aid from the government. So you can see they're clamoring to get in there, and they have to tell them, one at a time.
Hang on. One at a time. One at a time.
And again, there's these Chinese Americans that go out and record it because they're mad.
Yeah. But I mean, look, whatever. Going to go grab this stuff is whatever. But see the big queues there.
Yeah.
It gets the part where it really kind of takes the piss, though, where things get a little bit like over the top, is what this particular Chinese guy recorded. Is he recorded these queues of people waiting to get the free handouts, which are food, vegetables, and various items that are there for the needy. Okay. But where it really starts to get out of hand is, I'll just fast forward these cues aren't all that important, is he filmed then around the corner what they do once they get these free items. You can hear, if you understand Chinese, he's describing what's going on here, but once they get the handouts, is they go and sell them around the corner.
On the street.
Yeah, so hey, you want to buy some vegetables, you want to buy some...
These are all the government handouts for homeless people.
Yeah.
That they've taken, they are not homeless themselves, and are now selling them on the street.
Yeah. And again, this has enraged the Chinese diaspora. A lot of them are like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's not moral, right?
No, this we believe is in San Francisco, over here.
I mean, you're stealing from the poor. That's what's actually happening. You're stealing from the poor and you're profiting off of it.
Yeah, you're stealing from the poor and selling the, vegetables and stuff. The worst thing is that this isn't even illegal, as far as I know. I mean, maybe...
I have one thing I have a couple things to say. Just pause it. You can see the selling it right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm never ever gonna be. I'm not the kind of person who will ever judge what situations. You never know what situation someone's in, right?
Right.
But to take the food and then sell it around the corner, and now that food is not available for a family. I've done a couple volunteer activities where it's really embarrassing, right? Like family shows. It doesn't matter where they're from, what race they are. They'll show up. Right? Maybe in a beat up car or something. You don't know what situation they're in, and you help load the food up from the church or wherever you are. I did it for a church in their car, right?
Yeah.
And the family is like, it's kind of feels shameful. You feel bad for them, but they got what they needed, and their kids are there, and that they now have food to give to their kids, and it's a nice thing to do.
Right.
And my heart goes out to people like that. To take that food away from that, the crate of food that I put in this family's car. And then to go and not need it yourself, and then to take that food and sell it for a profit, that's evil.
Yeah.
Number two, I've seen situations now, and heard of situations now, where people will take the food that they want, right, and they don't need it, and then throw out the other food. They'll throw it in the garbage can. And I want to say something without saying any names.
Yeah.
I know CCP connected people, okay, from China, who are multi-millionaires that live in America, that take this homeless food every single week and then even offer it to their friends and brag about what they got.
Yeah.
And their son is so embarrassed of them, he just can't even deal with it.
Yeah.
They drive it in a Mercedes, a new Mercedes.
Yeah.
And they take this food and they brag about it.
Yeah.
They're worth more than any money we'll ever have in our entire lives.
Yeah.
And they're doing this.
Yeah, it's appalling.
It's horrible.
There's nothing else to say other than it's appalling. I shared that first clip.
Yeah.
I retweeted it, and I had a bunch of interesting comments.
Yeah.
One woman said that she was so embarrassed because her Chinese husband was doing that.
Yeah.
And she had to stop him from doing it. And then, by the process of showing him that you lose face, he stopped doing it.
Sure. And that's why these Chinese people that have integrated in America, or even actually some Chinese people in China are really mad at this too.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell are you doing? This is charity. This is what we want to have in China.
Yeah.
And we don't have in China, and you're taking advantage of it. Yeah. It's really embarrassing.
Another Chinese guy was telling me that his mother-in-law does this, and he's so embarrassed about it. But the problem is it's because it spreads around social media like that first clip we showed you as this happy-go-lucky fun thing to do. It's like, oh, you can get free stuff. You may as well just do it. It's stupid not to take it. Yeah. And then the queues form. And it's all this word-of-mouth crap. And then people go there and they take it. And it's awful. And I think there needs to be some kind of reform.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of reform when it comes to this whole system, because
it's a high trust society, and
I know, and I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable with my tax money with which we pay a lot and have to struggle to pay.
Yeah, by the way, this happens all over, and I guarantee you, if we go to downtown Philly right now, our tax dollars are going to this kind of same program.
I just don't feel comfortable with that being abused in that way. You know?
So it's happening in your state too, if you're American, I'm sure.
Anyway,
and it's not. I don't even feel like it's necessarily our battle, right? Because this is not something that can be tackled head on. This needs to be a case by case scenario, but something probably needs to be done.
Yeah, and just remember, our show is about China and what's going on, and this is what's pissing off the Chinese diaspora.
Yes.
So again, you can never paint a certain group of people with a broad brush.
No, absolutely
because
not.
It's the Chinese people living in America that are pissed off at the bad actors doing this.
Yep.
All right. So you just always have to bear that in mind.
Anyway, you get the picture. Let's rip through this. We're
okay.
A lot of material today.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll just fast forward through this. There's tons.
Vegetable.
There are multiple.
That looks like China, by the way. Selling vegetables on the street on a blanket.
Dude, the guy who filmed this, who's Chinese, he filmed a bunch more. So we had a lot, but we couldn't fit it all.
This happens in New York City a lot too.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, is this part? This is not Wumao Corner, is it?
It is. Those are Wumaos.
Okay, all right.
So, do you know the equivalent? So, you guys know in America, at least, most Americans will know, or Western people that know Western culture.
Yeah.
Or lack of culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what mumble rap is? It's like those Xanax rappers with face tattoos. They're young teenagers. They're SoundCloud rappers, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can picture what that is.
You know,
it's like those island boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Right.
Good job.
If they just disappeared off the face of the earth, this would be a better place.
I don't think you know what I'm saying? Are they?
I mean, the fact that they inhabit the same globe.
The island boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, China has their own equivalent, right?
Okay.
And there's this whole internet subculture of I shouldn't say internet of tough guys.
Sure.
We call them 黑社会.
Yeah, that means mafia.
Mafia, but it's also just like a thug. Right?
Yeah, a thug.
And they always go around and they'll make these videos like threatening people. And they'll always smoke a cigarette. They'll be shirtless. They'll have tattoos, and they'll show a knife.
Yeah, like a cleaver or something.
They'll be like, your mom, I'll F your mom, I'll kill you.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Sure.
That's ubiquitous around China, but you get young kids that grow up in those households that copy their dads.
Yeah.
And this is a very good example.
Oh, so these are the young kids doing it?
This is not a joke.
He's got a potty mouth. He's got such a potty mouth, this little kid.
Smoking, you got tattoos, you got like Roblox swords or whatever.
Yeah, he's got like it's like a display katana, for like cosplaying.
Anyway, China has the equivalent of this. Is this gangster? You know this exact type, right?
Yeah.
It's such a shame to see kids emulating that.
Yeah, of course.
Such douche scum culture.
That's what happens if you don't bring your kids up, right? They end up doing this.
Yeah, you know a lot of people like that. Everyone hates people like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
is this international
done
news?
bullying children. Now we're talking about... No, this is Wumao.
Oh, it's still Wumao.
Just to remind everyone, because there's this massive propaganda campaign going around, but only in English, not in Chinese.
Yeah.
From China to tell people outside of China that VPNs, so using a VPN to jump over the Great Firewall of China and unblock the internet and see everything like YouTube and Twitter, all the stuff that's blocked, that's legal. That's fine in China. But they won't tell that to their citizens because actually it's illegal in China. You can go to jail if you use a VPN, right?
Correct.
And every time something makes it to the public, we like to remind everyone out there that Chinese people, it's not legal for them to use a VPN. That is a psyop from China to make you think that Chinese people can be free.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Is yet another person. The illegal act of Cheng Da-peng to connect to the international web without China's pre-approval is confirmed. So I blocked out his identification number from his ID.
Yeah.
But yet again, another case, somebody getting in trouble for using a VPN.
Yeah, you have to understand that very often you can get away with it. But if you post something critical of, say, the government or Xi Jinping on Twitter, that's when they'll throw this book at you.
Yeah.
That's when they'll be like, oh, you used a VPN to access the international web. That's illegal. Now you will face consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how it works. But once again, it's just proof that this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so now it's time for international worldview, is it?
It is. You've added international tag.
Yeah,
to this.
I thought we'd say international today just because I feel like I'm in an international mood.
Yeah, this is a very international story today.
Yeah, okay, so...
you set this one up. It's hilarious. This will make you piss your pants.
Okay,
laughing.
look, Russia and China and this whole narrative on that side of things, they have to make people believe that NATO is the reason why this invasion started.
Yeah.
That's their whole thing. They're like, we're going to just invade Ukraine because we're worried about NATO expanding there. Not that they did anything. So what happened was the Chinese, Russian state media put out this thing saying that this is a wiretap of NATO soldiers captured this audio of NATO soldiers in the Ukraine, busy like fighting and coordinating and stuff. And they're supposed to be American soldiers.
So this leaked audio
Yes.
is supposed to be American soldiers.
It's supposed to be American soldiers. So basically they're like, listen, this is proof that NATO's operating in Ukraine.
Oh, okay. So they're like, we have leaked audio of American soldiers, which are not supposed to be in
with
Ukraine.
NATO soldiers that are supposed to be American fighting in Ukraine. This is the proof that they're doing this. It's a way to justify their invasion.
Okay. And this was on official media.
Yeah, it was being spread around through all those circles. That's how I
Okay.
got a hold of it. Let's take a look at this, guys. Okay. I'll get us in the corner here. Maybe, now listen to the accents, because these are American soldiers here. Let's hear.
Plan this retest, give the wrong coordinates. They can't fucking determine it about us. Guys are fucking dying. Have been showing us for several hours. Guys are dying. We can't evacuate them. It's just fucked up. We don't even shoot back. Tell me coordinates. Write down. 47 points. 36186134 points. 7637248.
Right
It's
on.
not them. Who the hell knows? Let's check. Ukrainians can't fucking do anything. They would have died long ago without us.
Oh, man.
They're those bastards. I kill them.
I kill them. That is like the most unnatural people speaking the wrong language. It's like if we try to speak to each other in Swahili or something. You know what I'm saying?
What was that? I mean, come on, just use an AI voice at that point.
It's better. It's
Holy
better.
crap.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
Take the peels, Jill.
Exactly, take the peels. I killed them,
I killed them. It is a fuck up.
Yeah, I know. It's so bad. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. That is hilarious.
It is.
And as a segue, I wanted to remind everyone, there's this weird thing going around right now. It's all these videos and articles and stuff that have a semblance of truth to them.
Yeah.
Saying like China's not helping Russia. It's a decent video. It's like FT said, U.S. intelligence report suggests China refused Wagner mercenary groups requests for arms, right?
Okay.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Why China isn't helping Russia. All of these things are like, if you looked at the headline, you'd be like, oh, well, China backed off. And they're like, they're not going to help Russia.
Sure.
And it's absolute bullshit. I just want to remind everyone, this is an ongoing partnership. It's a what is it? A friendship without limits.
That's what they said,
Remember hunting rifles? Remember when they found the assault rifles or whatever?
Assault rifles.
Everyone got mad when we said it was assault rifles. It was AR-15 equivalents.
Yeah, it is an assault rifle.
Okay,
it was an M16.
Like, you don't know guns.
It was an M16 copy, basically.
Okay,
it's an assault rifle. Okay, you can say it's a Chinese copy of an M16 or an AR-15 or whatever the hell, something along those lines. It's built on that platform.
Right.
It's not a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
hunting rifles don't use those kind of rounds.
People got mad at us and they're like, "Yes, I use AR-15s to shoot deer or something," and I was like, "Okay." Anyway.
Yeah, but that's stupid.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Body armor sent to Russia. And by the way, Ukraine's finding more Chinese components in Russian weapons. So it's not about just shipping wholesale.
Hunting rifles and body armor. Are you going to... What are you fighting? What kind of deer shoots back? I mean, is a bear going to swallow your bullet and...
White-tailed deer.
Yeah, white-tailed deer.
The origin of COVID, according to China.
Exactly. Yeah.
By the way, just a friendly reminder, China tried to pay us to say that COVID started in Pennsylvania, our home state.
Yeah.
From white-tailed deer.
Yeah, they try to pay us $2,000 each.
And we exposed them instead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was shocked about how many people were like, you guys are heroes for not taking the money. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
What do you think we are?
Yeah, we're not going to sell ourselves out.
Let's sell it out to the CCP, bro.
Nope.
Anyway,
maybe we could take the $1 million and then expose it.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Pay first, and then we'll
pay first. Then we'll expose.
We'll see how we got this quick $1 million.
Take the
doctors.
Take
don't want you to know this one trick.
Yeah. Take half of it for retirement later. Right.
Donate the rest to Ukraine or something.
You could.
Yeah.
Or we could take that $500,000 and put it back into advertising and SEO for anti-CCP material.
That'd be good.
That could work.
That'd be good.
Use your money against them. Anyway, let's get back into this. I just want to remind people, like, the headlines look great and everything, but China's still helping Russia.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
And the most important thing is China's helping Russia's propaganda.
Yeah.
If you go through, and I have a hair trigger right now, trying not to like post examples of this because I don't want to give them exposure. But if you go to any well-known like CCP shill YouTube account, so it's these Western people, mostly white guys, that work on behalf of promoting Chinese propaganda.
Correct. Yeah.
Now their channels are chock full of Russian propaganda, and they're doing collaborations with Russia propaganda,
Russian like state media and all that,
and other YouTubers that work for the Russian propaganda apparatus. Yes. So they're interfacing, and they've actually just really gotten better at propaganda since they joined together.
It's the China-Russia, like conglomeration. They're all together.
My point is, you can say that they're not working together all you want. You can say China's not going to give them weapons or whatever, but they're absolutely helping information warfare. Yeah, it's the biggest partnership I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Anyway,
morons and wankers complex or whatever you want to call it.
What's that?
Because you got the military-industrial complex.
Oh, morons and wankers complex.
Yeah, we have to think of like something that sounds similar to military-industrial
complex. I like morons and wanker complex.
Yeah, something along those lines. But that's who they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, it's time for us to hit Yamcha, everybody. This is our Q&A section where we answer your questions and you question our answers. How it works is you get to watch it live. You get to watch it over the weekend. On Monday, we cut it out of the show. So let's get right into it. We're going to answer your super chats. I can loosen the tie now. We can relax. It's Friday after all. And this Friday, not actually feeling sick. So it's great.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah.
By the way, can you guys, if you haven't yet, thumbs up the